morning. Good morning. We are playing Ashana's music. Uh, you are my breath, breathing me. And I think it's a particularly important song to listen to on a daily basis with someone. And so today we're doing this with you. And I want to invite you, when you look at us, when we're being still and gazing, look, this is my, oh yeah, this is my left eye. So even though it looks like it's my right eye, don't do that. Look in this eye and look in this eye of hers, because this is our receptive eye. So you want to start practicing looking in the left eye of everybody, in this case, this way.
So beautiful to begin this morning together through this really simple and sacred space of sharing our breath, sharing our deepest selves, sharing our hearts through our eyes, through the eye gazing, through presence, beginning our days together in this beautiful, sacred space.
Okay, so we're going to end the music, and you've had a transmission about doing a prayer circle. You want to say something about that?
Good morning, Valerie. Just saying good morning, there's Valerie.
And Sridhar.
And Sridhar. Good morning to brothers and sisters who are joining us now, day 6, for our live transmission of Conversations with the Goddess. Today we are inspired to offer this, this transmission. Our collective job. Our collective job is the theme of our share today, and we're going to begin today inviting everyone who's on the call. We're going to invite everyone, if you feel called to, comment where you're tuning in from, because we're about to go into a collective prayer circle to open up this experience together. And so if you feel called, just say where you're tuning in from, and we'd love to just invite everyone into this sacred circle together and begin this collective prayer circle. So we're just going to give a moment, take a couple of breaths, invite everyone who's just joining us. We're beginning a prayer circle and a transmission of our collective jobs. Together we descend, together we rise, together we ignite and we unite. Together we weave this new world that we all wish to see for each other, no one excluded. There are no enemies. And when we find that inclusivity within ourselves, when we accept, when we go within ourselves to transmute any self-hate that may be there, we stand as the true embodiment of love and light and truth and grace, and those who cross our paths will remember, and they will also remember that they also are that, and that here together we're invited to know this sacred journey of life and embrace each other through the whole journey of it. And right now, there is grief happening, there is sorrow happening, there is despair happening, and we all have a choice together. We have a choice to react, or we have a choice to respond. And so anyone who's tuning in right now, feel free to just say where you're tuning in from. I invite you all to take a breath and join us in this worldwide web that we are weaving together.
So actually, hearing is so much more important in our experience than we're giving it credit for. And one of the things I invite us to do as we take our breaths is to listen to the sound of it going in and make a sound as it goes out. So let's take 3 big breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. So big breath in. Big breath in. And one more big breath in. Both of those sounds are good. I particularly like I like to feel the air go out through my mouth. But apparently when you make the ah sound, what happens is your body, there's a particular nerve, the vagus nerve, hears the sound of pleasure, and it releases oxytocin in your body when it hears it. So letting your body hear pleasure is a way to get chemicals of pleasure in your body. And
Really powerful way to release and detox too.
so you
I'd
want
like
to do a prayer circle,
Yeah.
so I'm going to let you lead this.
Okay, so we're gonna begin this prayer circle. This is definitely something that may feel and sound crazy. It may feel and sound weird. It may feel and sound magical. And because it's all of those things, that right now we are not hopeless or helpless. That right now we actually have so much power within ourselves. And when we stand together, we amplify. And so we're gonna play a game right now. This is a game that we often play with my teachers in the Rainbow Partner Yoga Tantra training. They played where we all take on like a character. And so for all of the women who are joining in this prayer circle, who may be out there, they are the spiders. So all the ladies are the spiders. And for all the men who are joining in this prayer circle, they are the dragons. So we're taking upon these, we're connecting with these powerful symbols of life. So when we see a spider and we see a dragon, most of us are gonna freak out. Like they're really powerful. Even just a tiny little spider is really powerful. And that is in fact our power. And well, there are no dragons walking around right now on the planet, or maybe that most of us can't see, but you know, they're here walking amongst us, even if they're not the type of dragon that you see in the cartoon. And so all the brothers right now, the Brotherhood of Light in our prayer circle that have joined in to sit on this circle, they're the dragons, and that is an incredible power. And so right now, we're simply going to connect with this deepest spiritual power that we have within our bodies. And this may not be something that any of us has done before, but that's okay, because you don't have to figure it out with your mind. It's simply something that we're going to simply allow our bodies to feel. And so we're going to activate together simply by feeling this primordial power within ourselves, this primordial power of the feminine, so all of the women, and also these primordial powers of feminine, masculine, they're within all of us. So all of the spiders, all of the women on this call, we are dropping low. We are going down into this primordial space to connect with the great she, the great womb of creation. And so we're just simply, as I'm speaking, feel free to close your eyes if you would like to connect deeper with this without, you know, looking at anyone or thinking, just simply feeling, allowing your breath to go into your body and to connect down into that holy space, into that cauldron, into that womb space of creation, into that place where you are connected with everything, where you are the womb of life. And inside of that is the great womb power of she. And so we, as the women in the circle of life who've joined in this collective prayer circle, we reside here in our primal power, and we are summoning that power right now, as we all are in many places of the world right now through our breath and our vision. We are seeing this collective prayer circle that we are. We're seeing it all around the world, in every single continent and every country. We are there. We stand united. And these open wombs are holding this primordial power of she. And so we simply breathe into that space of primordial power. We descend down through our hearts into this great space, and we breathe, and we summon that power. And for the great brothers of light who are joining us, we are descending down into our bodies, into our hearts. We are descending down into that primal power of fire, that transformative power of light. We are connecting with that primordial power. We are seeing ourselves around the planet and all continents. We stand united in this circle of grace as she pours through us, we make space, we open for this love and this peace and this grace to pass through us, to pass between us. It passes and flows through the circle as we stand together. And so I just want to breathe here as we imagine this circle connecting all of us all around the planet. Inside of it are those who may be feeling suffering, who may be grieving, who may be feeling despair and sorrow, who may in fact be the ones, the souls who have passed on recently in the recent tragedies, including the one yesterday in France. And we also want to include in the circle, we want to include those who have acted out. We want to include those because they have lost their connection with the light. They have connected with the mind. They have connected with the mental constructs of a world that is untrue. And we want to include them in the circle. They are our brothers and sisters. There are no enemies here. Everyone is included. We are not condoning violence. We are simply including everyone in this prayer circle. And so we stand, and if you can imagine this prayer circle, it's like a dream catcher, and it's beautiful. When you see a dream catcher, what happens? The heart opens, the spirit is lifted, hope expands. And so we stand together across this continent, around this earth, and inside of it are all of our brothers and sisters, the ones who have forgotten, the ones who remember, the ones right now who are facing such tragedy, who want to react with violence, who want to point the finger and say, you have hurt me, you have harmed me, you are the enemy. And so we simply want to hold all of these people, including ourselves. Right now, we want to bring them simply through our awareness, bring them into our hearts. And we want to bring them into our deep primordial power space. And we just want them to know that we feel them, that we see them, that we're there with them, that we're standing together, not hopeless and helpless, but actually that we're standing together, united, that we're here calling forth our primordial power, summoning the power of love and truth and grace, and allowing that light to flow through all of us so that we may weave this new world that we all wish to see. And so it's with the power of the prayer that we remember the power of the feminine, that we reconnect with it. And then we know that our prayers matter and that they're powerful, and that any time that we are in darkness or any time that we see darkness in the world, that we can stand with this, that we can stand together and we can amplify, we can unite. Thank you all for tuning in and being part of this collective web, this prayer circle, this dream catcher, this one where we see our highest selves and we see the highest potential and possibilities that we wish to dream into existence. And we're not just waiting around for somebody else to do it. We're not waiting around for the right candidate and president to show up and take action, but we're actually being the change by embodying it. And so for the dragons, before we wrap up this prayer circle, I'm asking and calling upon your light, calling forth the light of the masculine, to transmute all of the pain and suffering that you feel that you can hold right now. That you can transform that through the power of your light, simply through the power of your presence. That you have that power, and we call upon it right now. Thank you to our brothers, thank you to the dragons, thank you to the brother of light who is uniting in purpose, in passion, to be the change in the world. We call upon right now the spiders. We call upon all the wombed ones, the ones who sit with the primordial supreme she between their legs, the one who sits with the great womb of creation, We call upon you. We call upon your cauldron of birth and creativity. We call upon your grace. You are, we are that power, that grace, that creativity. We are the wombs of the Great Mother. And we remember that power. Thank you all for joining in this prayer circle. Thank you all for holding space and allowing for this grace to pour through. And we're going to continue now with this transmission of our collective job.
Thank you. I see tears sparkling on your cheeks, so I see that she was in a state of ecstatic reception as she did that. So it's beautiful to surrender and trust that experience. So today I was down at the ocean earlier and I was in my joy, which is wind dancing. Wind dancing is a joy for me, and I realized it really is my job. A long time ago, my community began to speak about our job as our joy of being, J-O-B. So the collective job really is to be awake while we are here in the wonder and the goodness and the ease. It is very difficult to be in your joy of being when tragedy has struck close to your life. And so I know that there are many people today who are in the deepest grief at shocking and unfair and horrid loss on this plane. So what I'm saying is, let us use that as a reminder that don't waste this day. Take time this day to be in your joy of being. Take time this day to not just do what you need to do to survive, because that is what is robbing us of our joy of being, is waking up into fear consciousness and the sense that we have to go do something often that we don't want to do, that doesn't give us joy, in order to survive. And I totally know this experience. I've had that experience for such a long time, not now, but for many, many years, and even recurringly times now. So what we are also broken by is that life was snuffed out unexpectedly while people were in their joy of being. They were celebrating, they were at the beach, they were with their families. And in some ways, if you're going to go, that's a wonderful time to go. But the best thing we can do is to then say, oh, if life is as precious as it is, if my life matters so much, not just to me, but to the people that I leave behind when I'm gone, then let me remember my real job every day, all the time, is to stay in my joy of being and to be present with those I love. So don't leave your house without loving your children, and don't yesterday I realized that the practice that I'm most passionate about is something I call the bliss kiss. It is a way of eye gazing and breath kissing while you're very close to each other's faces, and it takes you into a state of divine recognition. So my desire in my own life is, when I am with somebody, that I take a moment at the beginning to be in that divine recognition, and when we part, to go into divine recognition, and that it becomes a little practice. And particularly if you are living with people, in the morning, when you see each other, take a moment. We can do a little tiny bit of this right now. We won't do any of it really, but we'll just take a moment. Let's just do third eye to third eye. Just bring your nose here and just be with each other. And if we were doing this, we would send a breath. So I would breathe to her, and she would breathe back. So you just go to the one eye. You go to there's only one eye. It doesn't even look human, but it looks so real. So that little moment, the joy of being present with another person that you love, seeing each other deeply, remembering this is the most important thing. Our connections are the very most important thing. So make it when you see each other. Make it when you leave each other. Make it when you come home and see each other again. Make it when you go to sleep at night. Those 4 times in a romantic relationship would completely change the game in the relationship. What we thought we were going to talk about today was relationship, because Arvind sent in a question, really a very big question.
I'm gonna read the questions.
And I don't feel that we have time to address that question today, but next we're going to take a break for Saturday and Sunday, come back Monday. That'll be day 7 in our Conversations with the Goddess, and we will at that time speak to the challenge of spiritual evolution and romantic relationships, and how in the world do those 2 things really work? How do we not suffer in our personal love lives? How can we evolve, be in our joy, and stay in deep inner harmony while also having the joy of personal romantic love in our lives? So that is a huge conversation. We won't get anywhere really. We'll just get a little taste of a conversation about it next Monday, but we will do it then. So I think we can just say, hello, Antonio. Oh my goodness, I can feel the meditation energy. Good.
Thank you.
My prayer is that you go out today and you do eye gazing and breath kissing, the bliss kiss with someone.
And I would like to share the inspiration that came to me as Laura was speaking. I love this teaching that she's offered. It's really special and powerful. And when you're sharing it with your partner, that feels really, really good. Maybe sharing it with a close friend feels really, really good. Or if you just feel open, like she's saying, that you meet someone and that's what unfolds. And let's say that level of intimacy is not going to happen for you today for some reason. Let's say we can still connect intimately through a type of bliss kiss, as she's saying. And the reason why I thought of this is because when I was on my morning walk, I saw these 3 men walking towards me, and I allowed my spirit to kiss them. I allowed my heart to open to them, and they came straight towards me, not like strangers on the street looking down, but as my brothers. And so the bliss kiss I could share with you that I did with them, just naturally, that came inspired from Alora's teaching, is that you allow this eye to kiss them. So when we allow this eye to kiss them, our heart is open, our light in our channel, it runs up to meet them, to greet them with that respect, with the reverence. I see you, I see you. And when you transmit that power of I see you, that soul and that heart can open and say, like I feel seen. And what a gift that is to give to each other. And so the way that it happens in my body that I can share is that I allow the light to pass through, and I allow the crown to kiss them. So the light passes through here and sends out this like light kiss to them. And that's a really powerful way to attract new friends for sure. Strangers walk up to you and everything is what you call in the flow. And that's when the magic of life really begins to get shared and experienced as our ears and eyes are open to the true divine reality of what is true, of love, of truth, of grace. And that grace is the magic that we all truly yearn for. So thank you so much. Thank you, Laura, for sharing everyone this profound teaching that she's been carrying as this, great emissary and priestess, and we look forward to continue sharing with all of you. Thanks for tuning in with your powerful prayer and your powerful primordial power, and together we ignite and unite, and we are the change by embodying it, and we together are weaving this new dream, this dream of peace, of love, of possibility, of what we all truly are feeling within ourselves is possible.
So let's just take 1 second and
Okay.
eye gaze with, this is the place to look.
Us?
And I'm saying both of us look there.
Okay, we're gonna look there.
And whoever's watching can pick one of us and look in our left eye, and we'll just be with each other for a
Really?
moment. Yeah,
You
right?
can. I'm supposed to
We're
look
going to
there?
try looking there. We're
Okay,
experimenting.
I'm looking there. Does that look right? Because I don't see them.
I can't tell. We're going to
Okay.
just try it.
Okay.
When I did it the other day, it seemed to be work. So just try being quiet for a moment. Okay. Namaste.
Namaste. See you Monday for our last day 7.